everybody, and welcome to a look at all of my movies. I did a while back a look at all of my video games, and I figured, and my Transformers, so now, moving down the list of my collections, I figured it's about time that I show off all of my movies. There's not as many movies as there are video games, but there are a few. There may be two parts here, I'm not sure. I will show you the front of the case with only a few exceptions like this. We'll start up here and then work our way down. So the first shelf primarily is taken up by the James Bond collection. There's one collection. This is a bunch of the Bond films. I have every Bond film to date. The only one I'm missing is Spectre, and Spectre isn't out on DVD. And I am also missing Never Say Never, but that is because I got these from my grandfather, who got the 50-year anniversary. And the 50-year anniversary contains every Bond film from the regular studio that releases them, but Never Say Never was released by a different film. So my grandfather, who collects movies, kept Never Say Never because it's not in the collection, so I do not have Never Say Never, but I'm not that worried about it. So we got Dr. No, GoldenEye, Golden Finger, License to Kill, couldn't read that, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me. I'm sorry, it's kind of difficult to read these at an angle like this. And Tomorrow Never Dies. So put that back up there. We have From Russia with Love. And I apologize if there's any noise outside, but I cannot control the outside environment, sadly. We have Thunderball. Diamonds Are Forever. This one has a really thin case. You Only Live Twice. I actually do kind of like the thin case, it looks nice, but could you imagine how small of a room this would take up if all of them were that small? It'd take up maybe 3/4 of what it does now. Or, 1/4 of what it does now. Live and Let Die. I do not know the names of all of the different Bond actors, sadly. I only know the first one, and honestly I can't recall what his name is right now. For Your Eyes Only. So this is only for your eyes, remember that. The one that I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to say its name, honestly. But I assume that you all can read that. A View to Kill. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Nearing the end of the Bond collection. Moonraker, I was thinking that was Moonwalker. The new James Bond film, starring Michael Jackson. The Living Daylights. The one Bond film that I actually did have myself, The World Is Not Enough. I actually bought that from 7-Eleven. And apparently it really wants to come out. Is this unopened? No, it's just cut. Die Another Day. And then we get into some of the newer ones with Daniel Craig, who is, I do believe, my father's favorite Bond. Casino Royale. And I do agree that Daniel Craig is a rather good Bond. I know I said earlier I couldn't name any of them from name except for the first one, and that I couldn't remember the first one's name, and I'm now saying Daniel Craig's name. Quantum of Solace, or is it Solace? I'm not 100% sure on that. And the newest one that's on DVD, Skyfall. Alright, and here we have the Planet of the Apes 5 film collection. This is Blu-ray. It's a nice little collection. We have the 4-film Resident Evil collection, which contains Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction, and Resident Evil Afterlife. And the last Resident Evil movie to be made so far, Resident Evil Retribution, as a Blu-ray. I'm saying now that I'm not a huge, I don't truly care if it's Blu-ray or regular DVD. It's just, surprisingly, a copy in Blu-ray was actually cheaper. We have Jaws in this nice little Universal 100th year anniversary case. Jaws is, in my opinion, one of the greatest films ever made. It is a fantastic movie and everyone should watch it. The sequels don't get as much praise from me, but Jaws 2 is still is a decent film. Jaws 3 is there where they really start to slow down and get kind of iffy. And I recently picked this up because I really needed to complete that collection. Now, arguably, they're entertaining, but for different reasons. I can have a lot of fun with Jaws 3 and 4 by making fun of them a lot. But hey, I feel like I got my money's worth because I'm sitting there laughing. We have the critically acclaimed Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We have the only slightly better Attack of the Clones. And then we have the decently good Episode 3. And then we get into the actually good, truly amazing. These are some of the best films ever created. Original Trilogy, Episode 4, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5, and Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, as I recall my father telling me, this was the first ever DVD release of these movies. The Hobbit Unexpected Journey. Sorry about that. That is Blu-ray, obviously. We have The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Lord of the Rings is some of the best movies ever. I highly recommend them. The Two Towers. And The Return of the King. Fantastic movies. We have 4 film favorites. Batman with Michael Keaton, sorry. We have Batman Forever. Also with, oh wait, no, never mind, that doesn't have Michael Keaton. Robin, the fan favorite, I'm sure, and Batman Returns. We have another fantastic film. We have The Dark Crystal in the collector's edition. I actually really like this collector's edition. I really like the box. It's a really nice box. We have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, movie 1 of 8. We have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, movie 2. I suppose I don't need to say that. These are all in order from right to left. So. We have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban with that dumb Spider-Man sticker I put on there for whatever reason when I was younger. We have Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We have Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. We have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. And then we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which ended the series amazingly. We have the Transformers Michael Bay film. We have Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen. And before anybody asks, I am going to say I'm not a fan of the Bay films. I am a huge fan of Generation 1. Generation 1 is my favorite show ever. My favorite movie of all time is the Generation 1 Transformers movie, the one that came out in 1986. The Bay films I really don't like, and the only reason I do have these is because I had a couple of them, and I am a collector. I'm not going to let them just sit there with only a few of them on my shelf when I know there are others to collect. We have Transformers Dark of the Moon, this neat little holographic case, because that's the 3D version. And we have Transformers Age of Extinction, which is the newest one. And I heard they're making a 5th. We have the ever fantastic Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1. And that's not a joke. Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of my favorite shows of all time. It is a fantastic show, and I highly recommend anybody to watch it. We have Book 2, as it's called. And I bet you all can't guess what came next. It's Book 3. Another fantastic film that I highly recommend, Howl's Moving Castle. Yet another one that I highly recommend, Ponyo. Don't know why that wasn't slid in all the way. Secret World of Arrietty, which is a good film, but I honestly can't, from what I remember, I wouldn't recommend it as much of Howl's Moving Castle and Ponyo, but it is still a really good movie. We have The Hunger Games. Marley and Me. We have The Naked Gun with the ever fantastic Leslie Nielsen. Stargate SG-1. This is, as I recall, it's the pilot episode to the series. I'm not going to pull these two out, but I do believe it's just part of Season 1 of Stargate SG-1. We have X-Men 2, X-Men United. We have The Fifth Element, an excellent film. We have The Simpsons movie, which is an awesome film if you're a Simpsons fan, which I am. We're gonna skip those two because I don't feel like. We have Transformers: The Ultimate Battle, which I'm honestly not 100% sure what this was trying to do. I think it's just telling you about the Transformers, basically. We have Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico, and these are getting into movies that I got when I was younger, so. This is a TV show, but it's the Fairly Odd Parents Superhero Spectacular, which, as I recall, contains 10 episodes, I do believe, of basically whenever, like, the Crimson Chin or anything would show up. We have Kermit's Swamp Years, which I don't think I've ever actually watched. We have Stuart Little. We have Stuart Little 2. And I honestly can't recall if they made Stuart Little 3. I can't remember that. We have The Ant Bully. I Love Lucy Volume 6, which I honestly don't know why I picked up from a garage sale. Now, if it were the Dick Van Dyke Show, I could understand. All Dogs Go to Heaven. A Miser Brothers Christmas. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is the Johnny Depp remake. We have Chicken Little. We have Monsters Incorporated. Didn't know John Goodman was in it. We have Kung Fu Panda. I have actually never seen Kung Fu Panda 2. We have Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Gaul, I think. We have The Rescuers. The Rescuers Down Under, which I assume is the sequel. These two at the same time. We have Hero Factory, Savage Planet, and Rise of the Rookies. Which Hero Factory, as I recall, is basically just the redone version of Bionicle. I was a huge Bionicle kid. The Tiger movie. We have Madagascar. We have Winnie the Pooh, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, sorry. We have Pooh's Hufflepuff Halloween movie. That's Madagascar. Sorry about that. We have Ratatouille. And last but certainly not least, we have the ever lovable WALL-E. Okay, and now we have to move down here for the rest of it. We have Return of the Jedi Special Edition, which is a VHS. These are all VHSs. As I recall, we have Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. We have Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Terminator 2 is one of the best movies. These two are, as I recall, just blank. We have The Book of Pooh, which, the more I grow up, the more I realize that it's a really bad name. And this blank one right here is just a bunch of the Simpsons Halloween episodes. Here we have Pokemon the first movie, which is in all honesty one of my favorite movies. We have Pokemon Mewtwo Returns, which I don't think I have ever seen. I just picked it up at a garage sale along with Pokemon the first movie. We have Pokemon Forever, which I've had for quite a while. And we have E.T., which is a cult classic movie. But that is all of my movies. That was all of my movies, so I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. And I apologize if my voice is coming off as a bit higher than it would normally, but it's a little different because I'm in a more open area, so I have to keep in mind that I have to speak a little higher, but I also have to keep talking gently, so it's a little more difficult. But either way, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will see you next time.